Hello, everybody! It's been such a long time! I'm back, and hopefully, I get to stay back! The way I am back is switching jobs again. Because how I was gone so long is the job that I switched to in December ish, they messed up my hours really bad by giving me a lot. While the pay is nice, the place started to not be so nice, and it really wasn't worth all the hours and the drive because it was a lot farther away. So that took up a lot of my time, as well as in February, I had the passing of one of my very dear pets, Goblin. And so that took a lot out of me. And I've only just been like, kept working for a bit, and I was like, well, maybe I'll stay at that job till summer. I couldn't do it till then. So I switched back to a job that's a lot easier for me to work with, and that means I can stream again and do all my creative stuff again, which is really, really nice. And so I'm very happy to be back. I've also, as forewarning for probably a few streams, there may be some coughing from me. A few weeks ago, I had my voice basically gave out, and there is a lot of coughing involved. I still sometimes cough a little bit, but I will try my best to mute myself when I do cough, so then it'll be all good. But I'm very happy to be back and to be playing again. And so now it is time to get into some Genshin Impact because we have not continued that investigation since like 3 months ago. So that has been a very, very long time. And there is several updates, and I'm so close to seeing so many spoilers on a boss fight, and I really don't want to try and see those again. Yeah, I'm streaming again! And you'll be happy to know, Sai, that on Wednesday I'm playing Valorant. So I will actually finally be playing Valorant. And I'll do that over on Twitch. It'll be a lot, easier to mess with anything and view and find and all that kind of stuff. We'll be doing the unranked grind, maybe a little bit through bronze, but I haven't played any of my unranked games. Ooh, we could. I'm not showing any toes. There's no toes to be shown, but we could all play. All right, let me switch to my game screen. It has been a hot minute since I have done any streaming, so there we go. No toes. As you can see, when my PNG tuber jumps, it don't got a lower body. There is no legs even. Yeah, they're gone. Oh no. Let's hope my controller is synced up. But I've not moved from this spot at all. I may have gambled well away from Genshin, but I will show you the results of that gamble. So there is a Fatui lady who I actually still do not know the lore of, luckily. I don't know if she's still in the banner. She is. I'm probably gonna butcher her name because I haven't really heard it in the game yet. Archilino? I'm definitely not pronouncing it right, but I haven't heard it in the game yet, so I have a little bit of an excuse. I may have gambled with the little I had on this account, and I got her. Yeah, the lower body's been burned off.
To survive hardship.
But I do have her because I hopped on to help some friends grind, but I did not move from the spot. I only went to their world. Thing is, though, I don't have any of the lore on her at all, so that's why I really want to get through stuff, because I don't know what her whole glitch thing is about. I don't know what that is. So, oh, we already got to time travel a little bit. Hi, anime Ben. I'll still be so I do have that whole goal of like 100 subscribers, followers, whatever, and to release the model. I'm still doing this year anyways, even if I don't get that. It's just I gotta make some stuff myself on programs I've never used before, like Blender. So that's a new learning thing, and then trying to make sure it works. Mostly because I don't know how to pay anybody for separate assets instead of like a full-on model to just get like, hey, can I have you make this one thing? Yeah, I'll be free on weekends unless they put me on nights, but there's a lot of cooks now, so. In which, yes, I usually end up doing cooking positions at places. Wait until the following day. Oh, that's what I missed. Yeah, I should be able to join some of the events again, like Fall Guys and Infinite, which I do have on my computer. I think you guys played some other stuff, but I have not checked the server in a bit since I couldn't participate. But yeah, I should be able to do those again. Which will be nice. Alright, is this correct? Oh, there's a photo point where we can catch that beforehand. Oh, yes and no? I know you guys have switched up some of the games, but I haven't paid as much attention to the server. Why am I so high up here? And I need to be all the way down there. Okay, that's weird. We're in court! Court time! Court time!
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing.
Let me turn up the game a little bit. This is probably enough. And if my mic sounds weird, I've had to tweak on it with people not hearing me on Discord. And honestly, I'd like to get a new mic, but I need to do some research and get desk room. But it would be nice to get a new mic at some point. High Winds is closed? Besides just going to your restaurant, I'd always suggest Yogi's Pizza, but I know some people don't like it. So pizza's good. You go to one of the good sushi places. Or yeah, you can go get some ramen. Alright. I do have some thoughts, but let's take things step by step.
Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Oh, Minecraft Bedrock Edition? I'll need to see how I can get a hold of that, because I have, PC, but I know there's a way you can get it. I just haven't seen it yet. But oh dang, yeah. The subscription getting up be tricky. Hopefully we'll find a way to set it up, though, because that'd be cool. I've seen some weird things about the Bedrock Edition, so I really want to see them for myself at some point. I think it was one of the bosses has changed like a lot, unless somebody just edited that in their video, which totally could be true.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Oh, we get a high fancy seat.
Finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed. Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence.
I'm still waiting for when her character gets better than this, because I know a lot of people like her. There's gotta be a reason, because right now she's just kind of sassy, and not the good kind of sass.
But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Just you wait.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Linney clearly reveals the details of the
Thank
magic
you,
trick.
Mr. Linney. In
I
that
couldn't read the
case,
rest.
I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying.
The way she says he's clearly lying, even though there's evidence right here. Clearly lying, man. What points she's gonna end up bringing up? We'll
There
see.
is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
That is true.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
How could Linney not know about that sound? It was a pretty loud thud. From last time, it was just a big thud. It kind of sounded like something went wrong. But it's weird that that actually was never brought up. I kind of only vaguely remember what happened.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
They probably represent the Oratrice's stance on the trial. Oh, that's neat. I was kind of wondering what kind of fancy show they'd make out of a trial. Like there's, of course, trial shows in real life, but it has to be all like fancy drama-like in Genshin. So I was wondering how they'd pull that off.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid.
Are they
Tell me,
though?
Aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
They're Fatui?
No wonder they did something like this.
Oh, yeesh. Now everybody's gonna get mad and blindsided and just not even pay attention to the court. The trial. They're all just gonna get mad at, like, oh no! You live with or are Fatui in some way?
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they They look flabbergasted. Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
It's not going good.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
Well, probably because he knows our history with Fatui, so either he doesn't want us on his case or doesn't want it to change our opinion of him. Oh, you can't. Oh no, that extra sucks. Is there like? And there's really no way you can get around the subscription when you have to play on Xbox. That sucks. Hopefully you'll be able to get it back in some way. Just 'cause that's how you can only play on Xbox for all I know. Is you have to have the live if you really want to do anything. So Lene and Lynette are Fatui.
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
There's no doubt about a magician's ability to con others. Given how Lenny has concealed his identity, this could have all been set up beforehand. Plus, Child is here in Fontaine along with the house operatives. There must be some scheme at work here. I've been a victim of such schemes before, and now.
Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
Oh, that's good that we can still play Infinite. Yeah, I'll need to set up my stuff before it comes up whenever you guys do the games on Saturdays. Because I haven't opened the game. I do have it. I just haven't opened it. So I should and like just set up what I can of my character and kind of feel around the controls. I'm sure it's the same, but I think I've heard the gunplay feels a little bit different. But yeah. That's good that Infinite still works though.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Ooh, this is really not going good.
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Permission to speak, Your Honor?
Granted.
My client has withheld some key information. My defense cannot proceed.
In that case, what is your request?
I request a brief adjournment. There are some things that must be discussed.
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought.
Well, we're gonna try and help him, and he's Fatui, but he didn't look like Fatui, so it's like, is he evil Fatui, or is he just under the title, and it's just unfortunate?
In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
I don't like you. You look pretty, but I don't like this attitude. While the court is adjourned, you meet with Lene and Lynette in the back of the opera house.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up.
It is a court.
I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain.
I wonder what reasoning they're gonna come up with. They don't seem like bad guys, but they're still under the Fatui name, which can easily, like, they just disguise themselves to look like good people, but we don't really know them yet.
I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
But how can we know this isn't all just another lie?
Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but...
Explain the other issue first. Where did you actually go while the trick was being performed? Especially if, like, you didn't teleport? Or where'd you go?
Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box.
Okay.
So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
And what did you find?
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice. Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought.
Oh, and that's what got you in trouble.
After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
But why do you want to understand how the Oratrice operates?
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
I believe in the facts. I'll defend you from these charges. I believe that judgment will be dispensed as it should. I don't know if these are actually choices or just different lines, but I'm gonna go, I'll defend you from these charges.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Actually, we already have the key evidence we need.
Huh?
The adjournment's almost over. Let's go back.
that's what you mean?
Linnae claims that he headed to the chamber containing the Oratrice's core upon entering the tunnel and did not witness the crime taking place, thus did not hear the thud. Oh, so I don't know if that's a good idea to go tell him, like, hey, we're trying to, like, look at that secret thing that you have, but I guess really, like, you kind of have to let the truth out. I don't think there's any other way they can try and really support themselves. The voice in the Oratrice core chamber. Linnae claims to have heard a mysterious voice within the chamber that houses the Oratrice core within the Opera House's underground structures. Okay, I mean, if it works, it works. Shoot.
More speed.
Well, let's see how this plays out. The brief adjournment ends and the nail-biting trial reconvenes.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
Ugh, that took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linny's perspective.
Based on the opposition's account of the events, you can identify loopholes in their statements. Use evidence. Oh, that's what the book's all about. Use evidence and clues obtained during the investigation to refute any errors assertions of fact and replace them with new inferences. Use your refutations to convince the audience and obtain more support from the people. The Oratrice will display such shifts clearly. When you find and refute all incorrect content, you can complete the cycle of refutation and unveil the truth.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed. So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident. And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
I just like all the nice art that they got right now.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Linny experienced, and what he saw.
I love when Aether gets to use his real voice. The voice is so good, they need to let him use it more. Okay. So, enter the tunnel as the countdown began. So then what piece of evidence goes here? The voice wouldn't. This is just him entering the tunnel.
Seems this won't produce a particularly effective rebuttal.
Okay. Oh, okay, glad that it does guessing games so we don't have to, like, do everything all over. To refute that Linny entered the tunnel, but he went down there. I would say that nobody could, like, leave and enter without identification. No? The voices, I don't feel like... There's a thump, but that would... I feel like that'd go more for the second point. It can't be the clothes, right? How is it the clothes? Or is there something else? Wait, then... Yeah, because I don't think you can refute that he went down into the tunnel. That's just weird. But he claimed he heard nothing.
According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
And that is true. Aether's voice is just... He's so soft. So, got knocked down. Moved her clothes. Was he really in the tunnel? Okay, if that's not the right thing, then it's gotta be the voices.
Linny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
So then this should be the clothes, because then he comes back, the crime's already happened.
Lenny
He's
did
just like,
not
why
take
closer?
part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Oh, we don't even deal with the last part.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
Nice job, Paimon. Let's hope this works. Successful refutation. I hope I said that right.
Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to say all that! Wasn't it awesome?
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
Well, yes.
That's right!
Moreover, I believe my opposition's reasoning is flawed.
My reasoning?
The onstage equipment was clearly tampered with in a premeditated fashion. However, you say that Cowl bumped into Linny by chance.
If that's the case, then if Cowl hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him!
And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around. Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims?
Do you happen to remember how you refute Linny's alibi initially?
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Your claim has now become my weapon. Well, if we're going drama, yeah. She's the most reasonable. Wait, how can I move around? Bumped into him. Chance. Would be this?
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? Paimon thinks there's something off here.
Oh, it's glad that they tell me it's irrelevant. Then I want to think it's just straight up the strange sound and not. Be this?
Are you sure we don't need to give
Okay,
this
okay. It is a strange sound. I second guess myself. Got it, got it.
That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Paimon, it'd be better if you didn't still have the glasses and the mustache on.
Well played. To think you'd use such logic.
Oh no, her little grayed out thoughts are a little spooked. She's got a real challenger now.
Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
The murderer was. Select the gear icons in the interface to check the corresponding case questions. Select answers to fill all the empty gears to verify the correctness of your deduction. If you've made any mistakes, you must make another selection from the remaining options. Once you have answered all the questions correctly, you can complete this logic chain. The Gardine's investigation report indicated that the fireworks released near the end of the show ignited and burned through the rope that suspended the water tank above the stage. This caused the water tank to fall and kill Cowell in the box below. If Lenny is no longer under suspicion, the only other members of the troupe would have been able to tamper with the props. Lenny gave a detailed account of how the trick was supposed to work, by using a box inside a box. The idea was for the box containing the audience member to be transported across via a tunnel underneath, and Lenny himself would also use this tunnel to get out to the other side. Having changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistant would take charge of onstage interactions. The clothes belonging to Hayes. Oh, so this is like all the other little clues. The clothes belonging to Hazley, the woman who went missing, were found in the tunnel. The reason for this remains unknown. Select any clues. Select any clue to view detailed information.
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along?
Who is this dude?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
That's true, though why would he set it up? Like, either he's trying to steal the show, or he has something with this lady, because it would be weird if he just tried to kill himself on the magic stage. Cheese! Extra cheese.
Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility?
I mean, I think in a drama nation, probably. So select clue. Oh, we have to hear it again, I'm guessing? I don't really think there's a third person, but there could be. Oh, that's where it slots in. It'd be weird if he tampered with it, but I don't think she has her own scheme. She's just some painter.
The deceased's name is Cowell.
Yeah, he'd be the only one that can tamper with anything. Even if she had a scheme, I don't know how she's gonna pull it off if she's only been to like a few of their shows or something. That's just really weird.
That can't be right. Are you serious?
I mean, Cal probably didn't mean to actually, off himself. He probably meant to actually do it to somebody else, but unfortunate circumstances.
The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
Don't tell it to me, tell it to the audience!
Oh, show. How interesting. Let's hear your reasoning then.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
It's so nice to hear his voice. So now we have to get all the little gears in order.
No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey?
I think that should be a clue, because no third party can get involved. I don't know if this has to be in a certain order, though. What's this
It
one?
would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny as well. The deceased's name is Cowell.
I feel like he should... I don't think the clothes would be
It would have been
involved.
tough for both people.
So they would have bumped into Linny, so I feel like the bump should be a point in here too.
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing... The deceased's name
Oh yeah, I
is
have
Cowell.
to select it like that. Would... And are the clothes part of it? Because then, I don't know if there's enough slots to fit Linny in
Halsey's
here.
clothing was in the tunnel.
Okay, so the clothes, those two are on. But the clothes are still here.
It would have
Oh.
been tough for both. Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment.
So are they...
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel.
So then, what story is this actually going to produce? And then it gives us back stuff. It's confusing. So then we got, her clothes are there. There's a loud thud. No one can leave. The no one can leave thing just seems kind of like a dead end
It
thing,
would have been
but
tough for both people.
how is that?
Linny was not in the
Okay,
tunnel.
well
at
he's
that-
the only option. The game's sick of me trying to guess this stuff. So it's nobody can leave. There's a thud and then Cowell and Linny are there.
No one entered or left the op.
What? That's the only option you gave me! Okay, whatever. The criminal must have understood the methods behind Linny's magic trick and thus must have been in the position to easily modify the equipment. Leaving aside how he died, Linny had all the means to commit the crime at his disposal. The strange noises could have been the sound of Cal and Halsey struggling. Linny was not in a tunnel for 1 minute. This would have given time for Cal to bring Halsey out of the magic box and into the audience stands. But according to the guard's testimony, no one entered or left the opera house, so even if he had taken her, there'd be no means of exiting. Did anybody check the basement though, where the vent is? Like, did anybody go and check if there's people there? Exiting from the box must have been in full view of the audience, pretty much guaranteeing they would have been discovered.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Where in the world did Halsey go?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it. But it seems you're still far from the truth.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Escaping from the water tank. Wait, could it have been the water?
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents. But do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Hold on a second.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Oh, so I wonder if that first puzzle you can't even solve because you're missing where the heck Halsey went.
The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
And I'm selecting that one. Yay, water, though. How is... It's a hydro nation, but does anybody there have hydro powers besides Farina? And
Gets it! It all
the
comes
other
together
guy?
if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind.
Oh, part of the magic trick. Oh, okay, now I get what they're going with this.
If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Oh, just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
I request that we examine Cowell's personal effects.
Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about two completely different things.
Even so, I trust the traveler's judgment. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him.
That is true.
But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress.
And because if we're going to start suspecting other peoples of the troop, Cowell would be a very likely suspect, if not Lynette. And we're quite sure Lynette's in the clear, so... It's really Cowell is the next standing member to be like, hey, this dude might have done something.
Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased, Cowell.
After some time, a guard returns with news.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
Oh, that's a very different turn.
The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You gotta be kidding! People dissolving into water?
It is the nation of water.
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains?
And if Cowl was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order!
Alright, alright.
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Water from the primordial sea. The liquid in the guards found in Cowell's luggage seems to have the ability to dissolve Fontanians into water. Though where's the primordial sea? That's where I'm wondering. Ah, now this crap again. I hope we really don't have to put this in an order.
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she have something to do with this?
What's this one gonna...
I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
I would say this Lynette point means nothing. It's the hook.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of triggering mechanism. The deceased's name is Cowell. The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and snapped. As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank.
Okay, I'm gonna believe that's the game telling us, hey, you don't need to pay attention to that.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not...
I feel like this is probably gonna tell me it's wrong, but otherwise we'll brute force it. So everything is wrong. That's not great. You already know he's a main point. This got brought into it. Wait, what does it say?
Now it seems like the hook rope was... The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box.
But we already said the layer thing too.
Lynette was in the magic box.
I don't know if we throw Lynette to the fire though. Do we? Do we really have to? Wait, but then that point disappears.
Lynette was in the magic box. I remember there was something...
So that inner box layering. Yeah, I don't know why it threw this thing away, this clue.
Should already have been...
Wouldn't that make sense? Yeah, there we go. It's because it started throwing stuff away on me. Don't throw the evidence. It's a neat game mechanic though. Just a little tricky.
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again! In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box.
I would gladly eat the emergency food. You know, outside of the court case.
When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial sea inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey.
Because in the court, you know, there's no fire. You can't cook the emergency food.
Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Ooh, now we're even.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
You're the one that put the court case on everybody else. That's your own fault.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case, and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
And we looped back around.
What?
That can't be. Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning and bring this performance to a swift close.
Oh, this stuff again.
Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowell then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime.
He literally has a partner in crime. He has his sister. Like, if she isn't off yet, I don't think he'd do that to Cowell.
Ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization. Am I right, Mr. Linny?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here. Is this the end of the road?
Oh no.
Oh wait, can we? Oh, we don't get to do anything.
I can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this.
Yeah, Genshin story can be confusing sometimes, but it's also been a long time since I've played, so I kind of forget parts of this case. But it is supposed to be a giant story, taking them years, so I'm sure there's some things that end up getting lost or new things that get invented that make some other parts of the story a little odd. And they are bringing in a lot of fantasy elements, so it's a lot of world building.
Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move. Why did this have to happen now?
I think we've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale. Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout, and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic?
That's really not a good introduction to whatever she's gonna say.
I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linny, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
Okay.
I understand.
And I guess reenacting it in front of a court would help to provide evidence. Or like just like kind of a more visual understanding if that's the route they're gonna go.
And voila.
What?
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
So she's the accomplice. I kind of was thinking that, but then I was like, why did she disappear then? And where did she go then?
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
But why?
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one.
Oh, damn.
That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there, and I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief! Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee, but then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
Oh wait, so she isn't the accomplice. But she was just like, Cowl can go take my place, and she didn't really care. So she's more just like a disrupting third party. So the accomplice is still unknown. Probably not Linny. I want to feel like that's planted. Especially with a shock, but also, you know, could be an act. It's a whole drama thing instead of a real trial. If they're a practiced hand at concealment, probably a professional thief could make it work.
But I swear I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's now time to refute the Hydro Archon's previous reasoning.
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lily-Ann's perspective.
Linny entered the tunnel after beginning the countdown, used the vent. So we have to tell it from her. So then...
Seems...
It's not it. That'd be a different case. So... I'm kind of just clicking and not thinking as much. I'm gonna feel like maybe it's the face first. Oh, what's first? I feel it shouldn't be the clothes, right? Is it? Okay. Wait. Oh, it just. Oh, okay. I was kind of thinking. I'm like, I don't know how you refute that he went down there. God, stupid thinking. So if she dissolved, how Hazley would have reacted. Suddenly, began to trickle down. Oh, it's gotta be the I think I know. I think I know. Oh my god. There we go.
The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lillian's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
In that fighting, then
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between Lillian and Cowell.
Then here comes the clothes part, and then it's gotta be the.
Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
Oh, no hook, okay.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time!
I love the art style that they're going with right now for all this. It's nice that they put effort into it, too. It's really pretty.
Having been selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
And there we go. Now we're still back to just even standings though.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the Opera House these last 2 days.
Has she been able to eat? Damn.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
Oh, okay.
At
Some
this
good
point,
storytelling.
all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Confusing because it's in a court case, but that's good story right there.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo! Bravo!
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that the audience members are like canny, cheerful, and I'm guessing other descriptions.
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements?
Oh, she's embarrassed. This is what happens when you pick a fight with an unknown traveler. She got herself into trouble.
Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
Yeah, you can't escape from this one now. You gotta own it, girl.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Nah.
Wow, look at that. She's like a deflated balloon now.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim.
Damn.
Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent.
Yippee!
While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
Oh, that's neat. Oh, that's a lot of blue. Everybody just gets flashbanged.
As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Woo! Oh, my mic can't pick up the clapping, but I'm clapping. Yay! Finally, court is adjourned. Or over. Whenever. I've never been to court before. Or, like, seen any court shows. I don't know what they say when it's done. But it's whatever that word is.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Let's not celebrate just yet.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
That's true. That is now one other point we haven't covered yet.
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dare to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
A one-way ticket to Coupon Town? What the hell?
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about.
Why is she making the face? Either it's because now there's no more evidence, or I hope she's not somehow playing a part in it. Please let the boss be a different person. But also, he like turned. It's like he turned into water, but it sounds like sand. He turned into water. Oh shoot.
And now he can no longer talk.
I wonder if it's like some weird sort of trigger for that to happen, because then it's got to be like in his hat or something on him to. That's weird. Must be some weird device on him.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Yes, sir. However, there was nothing found on the scene apart from the liquid left behind after Vaughn dissolved. There we go.
So, we're just going back now?
The problem seems to have been solved for now. We're not needed here anymore.
That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Lenny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me.
Oh, his face. I wish Lynette would kind of give a little more reaction, but it's Lenny really talking here, so.
But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end, even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
I just didn't want to see anyone be falsely accused. I just want to be sure that we're square. First one.
But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
She can be a mother and a father.
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past. Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That's fast, but I mean, good for them.
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days.
But there's always a price.
But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh, yeah, no, you do not mess with magic twins like that. That is a horrible decision. That is one way to get yourself into very deep trouble. And also, like, even if they weren't magic twins, like, you're then messing with the morale of your performer. And sending someone off as a gift is like a horrible decision. Like, that's mafia level stuff.
Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
If it's too underground, they might not get caught.
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law.
Villains. So, what happened after that?
I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person, and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans.
Ugh! Oh, okay. Now the story just got more graphic. I don't think it'll tell anything more, but that's disturbing.
Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here.
So they're like one big family.
I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
That's all in the past, though. The knave is after the Gnosis, isn't she?
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis's power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. Everyone at Hotel Bouffe d'été, including the knave, has their roots in Fontaine. And we will always defend our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
I'm sorry, but I still can't completely trust you.
It's all right. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
I understand.
Bye, Linny.
Oh. Now it's just time to leave the opera house. Wonder if we'll be able to come back here. It's very pretty, but a lot of bad things have now happened here. So it is time for us to take our leave through doors opening, and I'm guessing the big door out here. Or I guess not just yet. Oh, there is Nadia we need to kind of talk to. We barely talked to her.
Hey there.
Navia,
What was with
sorry.
the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too?
Well, I'm sorry, Navia.
Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
I was really only trying to defend, Lenny. I wasn't necessarily looking into the serial disappearances case.
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now?
Yeah, I mean, like, maybe Navia could, but we also just, like, stepped foot into the nation. It's not exactly an easy task for us to do.
And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Ah. I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer.
Well, we may want to, get more information on how the case has been, just because, we don't exactly live here.
Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me.
You're okay. I see what you're doing, but you're okay. I can tell she's a good person at heart. She's a little bit pushy, but also it's a case that's been cold for years. If she gets someone that seems to be kind of lifting up the case a bit, it gives a lot of hope, as she said.
Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? To commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Yeah, how would Paimon pass up free food? I mean, I wouldn't pass up any of Navia's cooking either. It looked really good, and she's got a cooking machine on the spot.
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
Well, if you say so. Let's go have that meal then.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navia's treating, count Paimon in!
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the Court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
All right then, let's have our farewell meal!
Offerings to the Fontaine. So we got the sigils now, so we can do all that hunting another time. Cause oh my god, I don't even want to look at how many sigils there are. If I'm thinking of the right thing, that is sigils. Little orbs that you give to the Archon statues. I believe those are sigils. I can actually check right now. Well, we haven't moved. Yeah, check the gadgets page in a minute. Oh yeah, I forgot. Chow just gave us his vision for no reason. Are these called sigils? No, they're oculuses. Okay. These are what I'm afraid of looking for in Fontaine. I don't even really want to know the number. Just got random recipes I've never messed with. I'm afraid of looking at these sigils. Okay, these are the sigils. That's what it means. I kind of forget what you do with those, to be honest, so. And that's a lot of walking, so. Luckily we have a teleport point, though I wish we could see more of the map, but we'll have to wait, I guess, for that.
Oh. More speed.
I don't know if I've ever complained about it on stream, but I was previously using a pretty broken Xbox controller. It worked, but because of all the sprinting in Genshin and playing FPS games with controller, my bumper buttons were broken. But now, from a previous trip where I kind of had to emergency get a controller if I wanted to play a game, I now have a new controller, and it is super nice. And I think it was actually discounted too. Waypoint! It's gonna take a while to break this one. Cause it is super fresh, but if I play enough Halo, maybe. Kinda wish I could try and get it to work on Valorant, but I'd be way too slow. It'd be funny though. It's just you have to do third-party stuff with controller and Valorant. I don't know where to trust that.
I've been here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after growing up. I hope the food here will be to your taste.
Oh, don't worry. We haven't eaten at a hotel like this in a while. Paimon's getting excited already.
In that case, I'll go order for us first. Please wait here a moment.
Should we get us some seats? Oh, okay.
Everything looks so good. People in Fontaine sure know how to enjoy life.
Is that a lasagna? Oh, they got lasagna in Fontaine. I like it already.
Try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest of Spina di Rosula next time.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone. Albeit with only one dish per table.
You, sure have your own way of doing things. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right? We did just win that case after all.
It's certainly worth celebrating. It was a pleasure working with you.
Oh, true. Very true. In that case, boss, we'll have another 2 dishes.
Huh? Paimon didn't mean that you had to order even more food. Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now that this has all happened?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it. We know that there's an organization that means to dissolve these young women, but we still don't know what they are really after.
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have ever believed that a person could be dissolved like that.
And it's only particular to Fontaines in their prophecy with water. If they have any members that aren't from Fontaine, they are screwed because then they can't, like, that person can keep giving away information.
Right? Yet it was because this was such a preposterous notion that the investigation could never really move forward before.
Ugh. If only that guy could have finished speaking. We were so close to hearing who was behind it.
In such investigations, even the smallest step can seem like a yawning chasm if the trail of clues is cut off. To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might conduct. It's not that I don't have faith in their ability, it's just that a different perspective is required in some matters. It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in thinking is required at such times in order to produce a breakthrough, which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exist. Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we exist, to seep into the cracks where filth falls through, where their watch fails them. That's the kind of problems we solve.
Seems Paimon thought things were simpler than they actually are.
It's all right. Well, this was supposed to be a farewell meal, so I doubt you have further interest in this business, right? Let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future plans?
We wanted to ask the Hydro Archon for some more information, but we haven't had much of an opportunity to do so. And especially now with her, the way we kind of know her attitude, I don't really know if we'll be able to get such information from her without her giving us some backlash.
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended. It didn't really seem like the right time or place to do it anyway.
Oh yeah, no.
I see. So, your primary objective, which has been foiled so far, was to have a chat with the Hydro Archon. I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while, considering that you missed your chance today.
Yeah, we've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting any of her time.
Well, would you consider some more, unique ways? Perhaps even methods of, let's say, questionable legality?
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of sketchy ideas. Well, what did you have in mind?
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her after the performance. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending, and would agree in order to finish watching the play, don't you think?
I guess that is one way.
Could you suggest something a little more practical? This plan seems pretty hard to pull off. We'd have to go learn how to act, and acting's really hard.
Nah, I mean with the way you're doing your whole ace detective thing, it could work. Just that they don't really let our character talk that much. We'd be like a mime acting.
Alright, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. Then, wake her up in the dead of night and demand answers. Don't let her go back to sleep until she answers all your questions.
Yeah, that's very questioning legality. Yeah, that's not gonna work.
I can personally testify that this one works.
No.
When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as I can finally get some sleep.
Okay. How about we not? We'll go with the first idea. That sounds a lot better. Plan B, not so much.
That might work, but that's not really the problem. The problem is we don't want to get ourselves arrested.
Ah, valid point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep.
How can you overlook something like that?
All right, no more joking around. Perhaps you could... Oh, I don't know. Cut the line when she's on a break. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations. False accusations she had nearly upheld personally. I imagine that she feels quite ashamed about the whole thing.
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, that does make some sense.
It's worth a try. Would someone with her personality really feel shame?
Why don't we give it a try after this meal? You know, strike while the iron is hot and all.
Yeah.
Huh? Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Well, that's one way to get her out branding.
Was this your drink? Sorry about that. Paimon wasn't really paying attention and the cup was right next to Paimon. Would you like to order another?
No, it's fine. We're just about done here.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fanta anyway. It tastes kind of salty and icky.
Oh. I'd have to agree. My drink also tasted that way too.
Is that so? Huh. Well, in that case, we'll have to blacklist the Fanta here then. If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Yeah, we're stuffed. Thanks for the treat, Navia. Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore.
You could try walking, you know.
Nah, that would be so... normal. You know, like you.
Oh, well, boo-hoo. You can walk a few steps. That should be kind of funny to see if they had a Paimon walking animation. Somewhere just stored in the files. I wouldn't go looking, but it'd be really funny if they did and they just never used it.
Okay. As for expenses this month, we're left with...
Hey, Navia! What are you doing over there?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
Oh no, she's close to broke. Seems that was pretty tough on her. That was a pretty pricey meal, all thanks to Paimon.
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro Archon again. Bye, Navia!
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact the Spina di Rosula. I'll give your request the highest priority. In any case, I wish you smooth sailing. I'll see you again, partner.
See ya!
I'm gonna miss her. I hope we get to see her a little more down the line. I really feel like it is in the end of her. She doesn't feel like she's that low of a character. Like, to put in the story. But I know the story in this gets really good. Alright, now we gotta go all the way back tempted to get this. Let me see. How far up is that? Because I want to unlock that area of the map real quick if I can. Oh, that's a little bit of chugging. That's not bad. Okay, let's get that. So glad to be playing Genshin again. It'll be nice to play some of the other games that I haven't been playing either. Because I will hold off certain games to stream, like Genshin. I haven't touched any Windcraft. Toho Lunar Nights. And because I know we're near the end of that. But I will definitely have to refresh myself in the controls when we get there. At some point, we'll slowly get there. The world opens itself before these noble hearts. What the? It got this chunk in the map, but it can't be bothered to get this little fountain right here. Okay. It's gotta be like that one, or we gotta do some event to open that up. Because it's not... Wait, why is it currently disabled? Oh, it's because I'm messing with the statue still. Whoops. Got nothing to give it. The new controller I got is just a Xbox One controller, but it has like it's blue and white and it has texture on it, which honestly I wasn't really looking for that, but it's really nice. And then I was able to put a tiny Miku sticker on the back, and that is all I got to it. Mostly because you can't really put much in the way of any stickers on here besides like controller cover stickers. I can't think of a technical name for them right now. Like, yeah, I can't. Like controller skins, I guess.
There aren't many people around anymore. Looks like that boat we took to Araneas might have been the last one.
Vache.
Oh, it's that weird voice again. I forgot. We heard that one like earlier before the trial.
Looks like we're back here again. Huh? Traveler? Are you hearing voices again?
Yes, and it's clearer than it was during the day. I mean, at night it's gonna be a lot quieter anyways, so, you know, a lot less people around.
That's kind of spooky. Are you sure we don't want to come back in the morning?
Nah.
Vache? Vache.
Hey, why are you still walking towards it? There might be something nasty in the water.
I can feel it. Strong emotions. Things are getting a little blurry.
Huh? Hang on. Paimon can kind of hear a voice. It's calling for Vache, right? Hey, Traveler? Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
What? Why is the ocean being actually given importance now? Where is this?
Vache, are you my dear Vache?
I'm sorry. I am the traveler? Who's Vache?
No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Do you know where my love is?
I'm afraid not.
Wait. Who am I? I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know.
Now oceaned with a question mark. Okay.
My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten?
Were you once human? I was just about to say, she's really talking like she was a person before. I wonder if they're all like that. That's really weird though.
That is what I was once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one who has lost their form.
You lost your form.
I do not know how I came to be like this either.
I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water, and then all grew dim.
Light blue water. Could that have been... Could she be one of the girls who were dissolved?
I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure, loved exploring places of peril. No matter where I went, Vacher would go with me. I knew how dearly he loved me, and I also loved him equally as much. But now, we can no longer go back. The pain of such parting. I never knew how heavy it could be.
So you need me to find him?
No. Our reunion no longer has any meaning. There is no way for us to create any new memories. The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the waters. If you meet Vacher, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing I still remember.
I believe it was hard for him to forget you.
Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, I saw Vacher above the surface. His eyes were filled with such sorrow, such longing. If only I could have comforted him, told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, I had felt a great warmth.
That means Vacher was a witness to the fact that you dissolved?
Is that what you call it? Dissolving? If anything, I consider it a form of release. It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace, like the water's still surface.
I can't tell if she was dissolved or drowned.
I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of endless want and anxiety.
It seems that after the body is dissolved, some measure of consciousness still remains.
I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think.
Is that Paimon? Alright. I wonder how much time has passed in reality.
Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence. Remember, if you see Vacher, tell him not to seek me out any longer.
I will do. Uh-oh. What happened? Oh, what the hell? Are they corrupted or? They look. The purple looks like straight up corruption or something.
Demoiselle, look out!
But why target Navia?
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex.
Oh.
Clorand?
We haven't really seen anything of her besides her introduction. Hello, purple lady. Very pretty purple lady.
Quick, now's our chance!
Dang, she's fast. They know each other?
I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Clorand. But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
I like her voice. She has a very pretty but muted design. Like, because it's very similar shades of purple, so she's not as noticeable as a character. But she shines in her position rather than her design. I mean, that's all I can really tell from the upper half. I don't know about her legs.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking, is it not?
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust. He would do the same, were he alive today.
Do not speak of my father!
Sorry, Demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech. I believe we all wish to avoid unnecessary emotional harm.
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be in grave danger?
I doubt I know much more than you, but I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful. Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
Huh. I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those associated with a Maison Gardiennage could control them.
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law.
So people just got spare Gardamex? I feel like that should be illegal.
I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means, deploying them as a private force of sorts.
Well, it's either that organization throwing a fit, or Farina throwing a fit. But I feel like Farina wouldn't go that low.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act rashly.
I will continue investigating no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish. Regardless, thank you for your help today, Clorand. But if you get any ideas, tell me first. I don't much appreciate being followed.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you. Good day, all.
I really do like her voice. It very much suits her character.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was being sincere with you. If we tried, we could attempt to thaw relations a little.
I know, she's...
What just happened? What's that?
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought we were done for! Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved us! Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too! We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
Oh, so you're a fighter now, Paimon? Anyways, thanks for the rescue, Navia.
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. In truth, I hope that every meal we have together shall be a victory feast. As such, we're still partners. There's no need to thank me.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnanimity.
What's that word? That's funny.
If it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of her goodwill long ago.
All right, you two. That's enough.
That's right, we should join her. Join the pretty French lady.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger? You sure did show up in the nick of time.
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
Oh?
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed somehow? Ooh, Paimon's even more amazing than she thought!
Yes, all thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake.
How?
How did that help?
After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of what you said. That the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky.
Wait, do you mean that... I thought it tasted strange as well, but I couldn't be sure.
Fanta only comes in sweet flavors, so how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been a bit off.
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
Oh, so they were gonna dissolve her, but then why does the Traveler have it? Because I feel like... I mean, maybe they don't know the Traveler, but the Traveler isn't from Fontainus, nor is Paimon.
Yes.
But I guess
So
if they spiked
if
every cup...
you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for saving the boss.
Huh. Really?
So they spiked every cup, then. My god. These people are nuts. Fortunately, Paimon, neither of us are from Fontaine. Otherwise, we would have been...
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate, but whoever did this left no trace at all. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger, and hurried here as quickly as I could.
But why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Linny in court and help clear his name. Ugh, now we're caught up in this mess too, aren't we?
Yeah, so we aren't directly caught up in the Archon's mess this time, we're caught up in the nation's mess. Yay!
Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the process.
True.
Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial seawater?
Well, it can't be a coincidence that the Traveler fainted just now. He said that he heard that voice calling for Vache again. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too, but it was real faint. Does this situation have to do with the primordial seawater then?
According to Lynette, the ability to hear voices like that has to do with one's sensitivity to the hydro element.
Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's used on people who are not from Fontaine?
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
I also gained some new intel.
New intel? While you were out cold?
Well, let's hear it, shall we?
The voice in the fountain belonged to one of the missing women. A person named Vashir was a witness when she dissolved.
Oh, that is important.
You tell everyone what happened while you were connected with the Oceanid's
Vache.
consciousness.
That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Could he have been threatened?
If he's still alive, we could try searching for him.
Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate.
Alright, partner. By we, you mean us too, right?
Oh, you mean you'll help us investigate?
I mean, what else are we gonna do in town when we kinda gotta wait to get a hold of the Hydro Archon?
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. That means we're still partners, right? And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off the hook so easily, are you, Traveler?
Messing with us will cost them.
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are the face of Spina di Rosula, after all.
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back to one of our bases, shall we? I'll arrange accommodations for you. We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners. But we'll take that one step at a time, I guess.
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is definitely secure.
I don't think we have a place to stay otherwise, so that's kind of nice. Get this out of the way real quick. Get a few Little things done. Okay, I guess we get to keep that. What's that? What else is in this bag? Gotta be like something all the way down here. That. Oh, that's from an event. That's from the event I have not looked at.
Enough sense to do away with all this.
Though now that we're out of the court case, maybe I'll do the event. I'll see how many days are on it. So just gotta go right there. I'm not even gonna bother trying to look for the big statues and try and unlock part of the map. I will do that when I don't have to scale a giant wall.
It's right up ahead, but let's make sure we weren't followed first.
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone suspicious thus far.
Check the bushes right behind you.
Huh, very good. But let's not let our guard down for now.
I shall find rooms for our respected guests.
Thank you, Malus. Now, let's continue, traveler.
Little gated subway area. Oh. Buried secret if I'm guessing. Yes, free money. Well, I probably could have gone down a ladder, but this is easier. This looks very... I feel like I've heard those song lyrics before, but I can't place what song that's from. Okay, I might drop a little farther. There we go. Just a bit faster. Are we going in the sewers for accommodations? I mean, the water looks pretty clean. Oh, that's where I've heard it from. I don't know anything about Fallout but that song. And a VTuber or two who I know like the game, but I haven't watched him play it. So, there's a picture and teleport waypoint. That's good. Cool looking picture. There's a lot of layers. There's more layers than Sumeru has in its big city. Now we gotta go up. It's over here. Gotcha, gotcha.
So, this is your base? It's not quite what Paimon imagined.
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
Thank you. Well, so much for my expectations. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Our funds have been a little tight lately. After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
But what about, I mean, I guess they don't probably get any Mora from Course Kate winnings because it's just a show to them.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support of the people, that does sound like it's worth it.
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago. I'm afraid I'm not quite his equal.
Your father... he was the previous boss of Spina di Rosula, right? How did he...
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to explain.
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. And as partners, this is something I hope they can understand. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful in the streets.
Oh?
3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I said, Paimon.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his innocence.
Yeah. I get to, like, defend your honor and all, but that is really not a good idea. Like, do that as your last resort kind of thing.
But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena.
Well, I guess maybe to him it depends on the jail states if jail is just and being proven guilty against his own friend is really not worth it for him to keep living.
3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that. How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself.
It does seem quite odd. Do you have any clues as to why?
The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
Ah, so that's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that case.
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in, but I haven't found a single new clue in my countless reviews of the investigation records. However, I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, they must know something. I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? Even if he really did kill his friend, I must get to the truth. If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me.
Oh, shoot. I was about to ask where the mother was.
And now, here I am investigating his death. You really are a handful, aren't you, Papa?
Seeking the truth for the sake of your own family. You know, we're quite alike in this regard.
Demoiselle, please, if there is anything I can do, anything at all.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. There are none whom I respect more than the two of you, Demoiselle. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was one murder case for him to be dubbed Callus the Unfaithful. Even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our strained finances at present.
Wait, if Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little suspicious when he was accused?
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really. Everyone's like that.
Yeah, but you would feel a little suspicion is warranted.
People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
But how could... never mind. If Callus was really falsely accused, we have to find the truth. He didn't deserve to have that happen to him.
There is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent in the duel was Ms. Clorand.
Oh. Yeah, so her hate is warranted.
Oh, her? Well, then, isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him?
No wonder the mood was a little strange between the two of you.
Yeah, that's not the sort of thing that you can just let go and move on from.
Yeah, no.
Ms. Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. If her opponent doesn't yield, she will not stop either. She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute in the arena, there was only ever one choice she could have made.
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I just can't deal with this yet.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel. You don't have to force yourself to do that.
Afterward, Ms. Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety.
then that indicates that he intended to die in that duel. Which I feel like then should, in some legality standpoint, be like, hey, we're gonna call out this dude. This guy kind of has a death wish. Like, we gotta do some proper investigating as to why and make sure he stays safe.
Yes, that is our understanding as well.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me? All right, anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was just complaining towards the end.
No, it's alright. I understand how important this is to you.
Thanks. You two should go and rest. This was quite a day after all.
Yeah. I want eat.
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will ensure you rest soundly.
I guess we go to rest. A peaceful night passes under the Spindola Rosa's protection.
Paimon slept so well. This place feels almost too safe.
Too safe?
Huh? Navia? Where did the other two go?
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not much for them to do here at the moment.
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that. When did you get back? Were you waiting here the whole time?
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vache.
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
Girl, you need to sleep.
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Cheese. What kind of cheese though? We talking mozzarella? We talking parmesan? Trying to think of other cheeses. There's pepper jack, cheddar, American cheese, ghost pepper cheese. Oh, you like spicy. I can't do spicy. I'm terrible with spice. But it's cool that you can handle spice. Isn't ghost pepper like one of the really high ones too? I don't know if it still is anymore, but I think it's still one of the like really spicy things. Or is it like the highest one?
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere. I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle. But that does prove that this Vache person is a key witness in the incident.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did forget about that. I'm impressed with people who can handle their spice really well. Especially if like it's actually like it's spicy and it tastes good. Like I can't do that. I will try to, but I will suffer while doing it. But people who can, that is impressive. Like eating that really spicy stuff with a straight face, like that's impressive to me.
That mean we're too late though?
No. There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible to threaten, no matter how much they wanted to. And that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette, a place where detailed files on all the cases in recent years are kept. If the Oceanette you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should be able to find some related information there.
There's a real... Why are they putting spice in gummy bears? I get the really sour stuff. I wouldn't expect that in gummy bears, but I guess... I don't know. I feel like... I guess gummies would be a very, like, good place to put it. Like, how they'll add so much sour stuff into it that they could do that the same with spice. and it not super throw off it being like a gummy candy. I've never seen one out though. I should try and look. I'm not gonna eat them because I'm gonna be terrible at that. But it sounds very interesting to try and just find those.
So Nervalette maintains an archive of case files? Whew. Guess that's the hard-working Chief Justice for you. In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we? Aren't you coming along, Navia? Did you get tired?
Oh, do they have a falling out too or something? I mean, they both are in legality stuff, so that makes sense if they have some kind of issue.
No, it's nothing. Let's go see the Honorable Chief Justice.
There's gonna be something bad happening, huh? Alright. I think for a stream back doing almost 2.5 hours, that's pretty good. So I think I will have to call it here. I am doing a Twitch stream on Wednesday, about the same time as this, playing Valorant. I don't know if I'm going to be playing with friends. My original plan was to grind some comp. I'm a very low elo, but that is fine. And then return to Genshin.
Just for show. Just smart.
I don't like when the characters interrupt me. But on Friday we will be coming back to Genshin and then kind of feeling how this week goes. Probably start adding some more stuff to do because I want to do art streams again. Eventually get back to Windcraft, and we're close to Toho being done. And then of course doing the collab streams on Saturdays when I am not working on a Saturday, which will be really nice to also do again and be able to play with a lot of people. So I do thank everybody for joining me in the Haven. I hope you have all enjoyed your stay. Any social links are in the description of this video. I usually do much more stuff on like posting on Twitter and Blue Sky. They're usually pretty much a copy of each other. Instagram is very dead, but I do put it there. And then if you want to catch me on Twitch on Wednesday with Valorant, or otherwise this Friday, I will be playing some more Genshin, and we'll finally, I guess, see more of Nebulet and kind of what that's all about. So I do thank you all for stopping by, and I hope you have had a wonderful stay in the Haven. Bye bye!